So, I just started playing The Witcher 3. It's got a lot going for it. Vibrant visuals, gritty combat, captivating storytelling. After having played the game, I can definitely see why it is so popular. However, I did realize something that would spark this video. Almost all the baddies, the beasts, and the monsters resemble or are represented as women. This got me thinking that this game might have a psychological condition called the Madonna Whore Complex. Let's take a deeper look and deconstruct The Witcher 3. I got about 30 hours into playing The Witcher 3 before I began to recognize a pattern. Usually, a beautiful woman such as Ciri or Triss will need help from Geralt.
Young woman who's like a daughter to me.
This involves killing an evil monster who is, more often than not, resembling a woman.
She was here.
This is obviously a little oversimplified. Many of the creatures in this universe are either male or lacking a gender. But if we take a look at the game's wiki, we can see that a large majority of the monsters resemble or are represented by women, including many of the bosses. First, we've got the Abaya, also known as water hags or morn tarts, that are represented as women. The succubus, which is of course a woman. Then we have sirens, half woman, half serpent. And don't forget the noon race and night race and plague maidens, all depicted as a woman clothed in tattered linens. Then we've got the harpies, who for both male and female are shown having womanly breasts. Following these creatures, we have a host of bosses. The Devil by the Well, Jenny of the Woods, and the White Lady, along with Melusine and the most infamous Crones, or the Ladies of the Wood. All of these represented as women. To complete the pattern of the Madonna and the Whore, Geralt's quest to kill these monsters aligns with his pursuit of a beautiful woman. These so-called Madonnas, Ciri, Kira, Yennefer, and Triss. This pattern is what I identify as the Madonna Whore Complex. This psychological complex, first identified by Sigmund Freud, is said to be present in men who see women as either saintly Madonnas or debased prostitutes. Applying the Madonna Whore as it pertains to The Witcher 3, we get a worldview where women are either good beings worth protecting, the Madonnas,
things like me,
or they are debased and sinful monsters who must be destroyed, the whores, so to speak.
In times past, no amount of coin would convince a witcher to take this contract.
So why is it that this game has a Madonna Whore Complex? I think we can find this answer in the heritage and culture behind Andrzej Sapkowski's original novels. Like Gaiman and Tolkien, Sapkowski takes the old and makes it new, putting his own spin on the common archetypes of the past. The Witcher series takes heavily from Greek, Slavic, Eastern European, and early Christian mythology. The Wild Hunt, from which the game takes its name, is itself a folklore of Northern European cultures going back over 1,000 years. First recorded in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, one of the earliest histories of the Anglo-Saxons, the Wild Hunt came by many names in Europe. In Scandinavia, they called it the Terrifying Ride, in High German, Odin's Army, and in England, Woden's Hunt. Digging deeper into the mythology, we see Slavic influence in the Striga, a female human transformed into a monster from a curse, and further, Polish influence in the Kikimora, a haunting female spirit. And lastly, we see mainstays of Greek mythology in the Echidna and the Sirens. And I think this is where we can find our answer. In these ancient European cultures, whose main influences are from Greco-Roman and biblical modes of thought, there's a guilt about sex, a dread of female seduction, and because of this, an insistence on female subjection. It is why we see so many of these monsters nude in the female form. Their nakedness is their weapon. Take, for example, the story of Pandora from Hesiod's poem Theogony. In Greek mythology, men were in peaceful coexistence with the gods prior to the creation of women. When Prometheus decides to steal the secret of fire from the gods, Zeus punishes mankind with an evil for their delight. This evil is Pandora, the first woman, whom Zeus called a beautiful evil. She was given a jar that she was to never open. Falling to her temptation, she peeks into the jar, and by opening it, unleashes into the world evil, work, illness, and death. The story of Pandora in Greek mythology is no different than the story of Genesis, with Eve's temptation of the forbidden fruit and the release of sin into the world. Women are continually portrayed as both the sacred and the profane. As K.K. Ruthven put it, women are simultaneously the gateway to the devil and the temple over a sewer. The Madonna Whore Complex is beyond one author's tale. It is perhaps something rooted deeper into the history of humanity. As Zeus describes Pandora, the beautiful evil of women is as prevalent in the Bible as it is in the mythology of the Sirens or the Kikimora. The psychology of the Witcher is rooted in man's fears. The fear that women are an uncontained chaos, a serpent-like evil both beautiful and terrible, equally sacred as they are profane. Is it the Madonna turned whore that is man's greatest fear?
For the Witcher, brave and bold.
Thanks for watching Deconstruction Inc. If you have a suggestion for what I should deconstruct next, leave a comment below. If you want more analysis of great games, movies, or books, be sure to like and subscribe.